Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It's February 14, 2024. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. He's a delusional, rejected stalker, has been for a decade. So, and it's not political. I would still like to see him put out what is the political reason you think you are worthy of an attack. You're the new guy. I've been in all my life. I did federal, not state, government reform. So, you're the new guy elected to office, and you think that I made up a political vendetta, a stalker story over a political vendetta. Then I only told a few close friends, right? Only told a few close friends, moved, kept my mouth shut otherwise. Just a few close friends knew, most didn't live in Texas. Moved, then moved again, and then made it public. What's the issue? What is, everybody in Lubbock, it's 86% Republican. You have to be pro-life, pro-protection of marriage being between a man and a woman, and pro-gun rights to get elected. So let's say one of those three issues made me mad at Charles, one guy. I didn't live in his district either. I lived in John Frulo's, right? I'm telling all my friends in 2011, he's pulling up behind my house, watching me in my backyard, having people come and say, I may have to move. Right? Isn't that what you did? Weirdo. Look at that. In case something happens to me, here's what he's doing to me. 2011. Nothing political here. Nothing at all. Look at that. Watch Charles on his phone and his computer. Don't ask me questions, just watch him. I wanted them to catch him voyeuring and hacking me. So that was in, look at that, 2014. Just watch him. Tell Jackie, watch your husband. Watch what he does. I'm not going to tell you what he does. You watch and you'll catch it. Yep. He said, Peeping Tom, 2015. He's trying to threaten me with false arrest, to coerce me to lie about a stalking problem. I was in Oklahoma at this time. Oklahoma for 9 years and won't leave. Friend talking about him going to the restaurant. What does that say? I don't want a scandal. I would like for him to leave me alone. Make him leave me alone. 2014. I was in Dallas trying to date Fabian. Okay, so we have all these. All of that. There's nothing political about it. Nothing. All I wanted to do is to fuck off and leave me alone. I may have to move. Look at that. Yep. That's how long this has been going on. So, anyways, when he did have me illegally incarcerated, actually the night they had David Roberson come tell me, I'm going to put you in the lake if you don't recant your claims. I told him about it. We talked about Fabian. Was my manager at Jaguars in Dallas. He came in on October 12th, 2015. So I'm telling him what we talked about. This is the McNamara email. It's not the first, but it's the first you know of. We got millions of them now. We got like 10 today, where I'm typing up a recording of what you just said. I get that in jail. Fabian intersects with the word hope. These two words are not just in the same book or on the same page, they intersect. Me depicts Perry, he's a selfish butt-in. Always the wannabe, never the one wanted. Surrounded by the word boo and sad. Boo is a private joke between one of the cop friends of mine and I. They've known me forever. They know me inside, outside, backward, and forward. And they wouldn't work with me. They had me go help get Mr. Perry elected, so they had easier access to him. It's easier to get to somebody who's in the public, shaking hands, kissing babies, going to events, trying to get elected as a state assemblyman, then it is a lot easier than sitting in an office as an accountant. So that was my job. I did my job. Mr. Perry did carry out his threat a few months later to have me false arrested. He's trying to do it again. He and David. So they've been trying all night. I was supposed to get pulled over tonight, they said. Was I? Is that true? All the intel that we get in, it's either good or bad. Sometimes you prove it's good intel because you do what the email said. You did pretty much what the McNamara email said. So this is, people are tired of you causing fear and sadness. Everybody is. So they got that to me in jail. That's some power. And I only had to tell them what I want one time. Nothing had to be repeated. Got it to me right in jail. It wasn't up to you. Nothing in these emails to Fabian, by the way, Mr. Powell, have a fucking thing to do with politics. Look at that. He goes, why don't you like Charles? I said, he's gross. He's a gross, deviant, depraved piece of shit. He's gross. And guess what? I don't have to like him if I don't want to. And you guys being in here, stalking. Stalking's a crime, by the way. I can get a protective order. Maybe I need one. If you're threatening me with death and false arrest, I need a protective order, don't you think? I'm not going where you are. You're coming to where I am, at my work. They have hacked my phone, cloned my phone. They hacked my Dasher app. They have their friends call in. Friends who have a doorbell camera or some sort of home surveillance, get a picture of it, take it to court and say, look, judge, we're not stalking her. Look, we hacked her phone, got illegal access to her electronic device, used it to get her to this guy's house with a camera, got a picture of her, took it to court and said, look, we're not stalking her. See all these pictures of her? Just working, just door dashing. Yeah. You've done that since 2021, and we have already said it over and over and over and over. And apparently tonight, Mr. Roberson called and said, we're not satisfied with the DoorDash pictures. We need to get her to go to Uber. Any way you can get somebody to push her to go to Uber, we think that would be better. We want to hack the Uber app instead. Duly noted for the record. Notice nobody's doing that shit to you. You're getting caught doing this shit to me. You trafficked me to some guy named Larry in Houston. You're desperate to deliver. You told somebody we were supposed to have her delivered last August. We couldn't get her to go. We took everything she had. We made her homeless and starved. Okay? We're trying to do it again because it didn't work last year. We're going to try it now again. We're going to get her fired. Call Mays County. Have them go tell all those people we're going to get her fired. Right? Or we'll have them pull her, or we'll have them false arrest her. Right? Make sure she has no money. And tell her family, don't give her any money when she calls for help. Let us know if she pressures you. Like I said, he's trying to traffic you. He's trying to pimp you out. He's trying to make you a prostitute and a hooker so he can make money off of your, prostitution. Trying to help you, trying to force you against your will to help with this crime. And to be a traffic victim. Against your will. You starved first. You didn't go. You starved. Right? You're about to try again. We heard you talking about it. And he said, so let us know if they pressure you. They are. They're pressuring me. That's what that is. They're literally going to deprive me of my basic rights and needs, privacy, food, shelter. I got to pay bills, a car. They want to take my car. So if when they arrest you, and he has let you guys pile this up, your criminal excrement, he's let you pile it up. And what happens if he tells your attorney, here is 300 recordings of them talking about taking her car, your client was discussing taking her car to pressure her to be trafficked and to become part of the crime. They're pressuring her. Let us know if she wants to eat, if she pressures you. Jesus. So, then what's your attorney getting? No, go listen to 300 of them. That's only 1 month. That's just this last month. We got 10 years of this. And then go see what you can get suppressed. What are you going to do? Because sometimes he'll step back. He said he's never lost a case, ever. And he goes, sometimes what we do is we step back and let them be them. Dig your hole, you sick son of a bitch. Dig it nice and deep. And then when you get arrested and your attorney comes to me, I'm going to pile the shit on them. Go get that suppressed. And I'll tell you what. Yeah, that is something to watch the look on the guy's face when we do that. So you're next. Okay? I have help. They can get that to me. Every time you contact me, every day you invade my privacy, every day you pressure me, let us know if she pressures you because she just wants to eat. Let us know. My guy's like, let me know if they pressure you. He goes, can you believe they just said that again? Let us know if they pressure you. David, they said, called tonight and said, a couple of weeks ago, he said, I think that the police are talking to her through our window. Well, the guy said, thankfully, David, that's her home. Why would you know? What, is she looking out her window a lot? See, unless you got a peep and Tom problem and you're breaking the voyeurism laws, you would know what she's doing or where her windows are. But I guess you're watching her in her house and you're seeing her look out the window or something, so you think the police are coming up and telling her stuff that you're trying to do to her to keep her safe? What police? Okay, it is her home. That is her window. She has the right to be safe. And so none of that is any of your business, is it? And then tonight he made another phone call. I think maybe there's something in her truck. I want her pulled over and I want her truck searched. And he was told, that is her property, not yours. And if she's told police, you can have some equipment in my car that will keep me safe, it's my property, then David, that's none of your business. It's her option. That's her choice. You don't get to obstruct justice by taking their equipment out of her car. It's not like you found a bug in your home that the FBI put there or something, or TPD put there, whoever. You are wanting to search her property for equipment she's allowed by police who are keeping her safe from you. And you don't get to do that. And why do you think it's in her truck? Why do you think there's something in her trunk? Didn't you have somebody go through there already and couldn't find anything? Because we know you have a key to her car. And we know you got an illegal key to her car. So why are you calling up a police officer and telling him pull her over and go through her trunk? Because what's going to happen is you're going to get in trouble with these guys for obstructing justice and taking their equipment from her property. That's her car, not yours. We know that you think everything is yours, that everything that's yours is yours, and everything that's hers is yours, and it's not. I'm sorry. That's not how this works. We do not live in Iraq. We live in the United States of America. I have the Bill of Rights just as much as you do. Not everybody is a backward hillbilly misogynistic pig like yourself. Most parts of the country, don't understand you. And my guys are going after you, your men. You all, there's like 30 of you going after one woman. One woman. People make fun of Charles. Charles is such a weak, pathetic coward that he's picking on a woman to feel tough guy. And not only is he picking on a woman, he's got 30 of his buddies helping him. He can't even do that by himself. He's that weak and he's that exposed and he's that pathetic. So, tough guys pick on tough guys. The guys helping me that got me this puzzle, they're picking on men. They're picking on you. Leave me alone. They're picking on you because you're picking on a woman. I'm their witness. He told you, stop tampering with my witness. Stop it. Do not contact her anymore. Her privacy is not to be invaded. You don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly. And you are not to take her money anymore. She's not to be broke. Here's the thing. I make money. I only have problems when you start taking it or causing... Calvin does this, the DoorDash orders. And he's famous for locking up everything in North Tulsa, where I usually DoorDash. The only thing open is South Tulsa. So I drove all the way south to try to make some money, and no orders come in. And then he'll lock that up, and I have to drive all the way back up here to North Tulsa. He does it on purpose just to run out my gas. And we know that, Calvin. We hear you talking about it. You're caught when you do it to me. So... when you take my money, when you take my privacy, when you take something from me, they take from you. And they have a court order to do that, and you don't. They're not criminals, you are. They're catching your crime. They got me that in jail. Who can do that? And it wasn't up to you. It was not up to you. So yeah, and then we heard you telling somebody, well, why don't you just go to her residence and tell her you can't talk? You can no longer talk about what we're doing to you. All the crime we're doing to you, you can't talk about it anymore. Tread lightly with her, but that's what you need to tell her. And the guy was like, dude, I'm busy. I don't have time for this. There's a lot of people that, believe me, if we know what you say, we know what a lot of people say. That are like, they want me to do X, Y, Z, and I am not. If this, let's just say, for example, this is Homeland Security, or this is NSA, or this is CIA. I'm not getting that on me, because they want me to do their, their the dirty work for them. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to pull her over. I don't want to, whatever the issue of the day is. I don't want to go take her car. I don't want to get this. If they got the CIA on them, they got her this, I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm not saying who it is. I'm not saying yes, no, maybe, or who it is. It's a need to know for a reason. You like calling cops and harassing them, whining, please take her car, please go get her car, please pull her over and get her car, please search her trunk, please look, please. Right? My guys are like, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for their whining. They want to whine and nag. They can call Oklahoma cops. We're not going to bother us. They're not bothering us with that shit. They're not going to do it. We're busy. We're busy getting all the shit they just said, like that. Or take her car and false arrest her and let me know if she pressures you. We're going to starve her, okay? My guys are like, how about you let us know if they pressure you? Looks to us like the illegal pressure is what they're doing to you. They don't have the right to tell people they can't give you money to feed you and deprive you of food and shelter. They don't have that right. You have the right to ask for help if they take your money. And you have the right to say, please help me, they took my money. They're trying to traffic me. You have the right to ask for help. They don't have the right to pressure you into being trafficked. They're all mixed up on what the law says. Their attorneys suck. That's all I can say. So he got that to me in jail. That's some pretty powerful people. They can do that. They didn't ask you what you thought about it, did they? No. So David's like, why don't you like Charles? And I'm like, because he's a nutbag. He's mean. He's a horrible person. I don't like him. There's nothing to like. All he does is threaten people. All he does is ruin people. I don't want a damn thing to do with the guy. And David goes, well, you ruined his facade. And I go, not my problem, is it? Why does he have a facade? That is not my fucking problem. I won't lie for him. Boo fucking who. All he has to do is leave me alone. And then there's that whole Fabian thing. And he goes, oh, listen, Fabian doesn't want you. I said, Fabian did never say that to me. He never said that. But that has to come from him. You and Charles do not speak for him. He can speak for him. And none of this is your business anyway, by the way. And he said, well, he just wants to fuck you. I said, fine, let us fuck, and then be done with it. Why are you causing problems between me and Fabian on purpose? And he goes, well, actually, the two fought over you for months. Like, there's no fight. I don't want Charles. My choice was Fabian. It's up to me what I want, not them. The two of them don't decide who I want. Fabian was defending what I want. Charles is butting in, and he doesn't have that right. So I text Fabian that night and tell none of this is political, Matt. None of it. Not one thing here is political. There's nothing here political. There's nothing in these Facebooks that's political. I get that Charles likes to imagine things that aren't real. He's got Huntington's disease. This was my career in politics. You think that I thought much of the new guy who just got elected, barely voted before this, new guy, in Podunk, Texas, nowhere. You think I'd be impressed by him after I walked out of his office? Right? You shitting me, right? No. I don't need Creepy Chucky for anything. He's new. I need to go to people. If I did Texas politics, I would need to go to people who were really well established and had some influence, who had some time to develop rapport and influence. Charles was the new guy from Podunk, nowhere, Texas, one of the smallest districts in the state, 86% Republican. It's not a volatile district. You can't flip it. Actually, a district becomes more valuable the more volatile it is and the more flippable it is, because if you got a guy like Charles in who's pro-life, and you've got a 50-50 demographic, and you could get a Democrat in there that could change the numbers in the state assembly, then you might you might get some attention in that district. Otherwise, you're not going to. because it's of no value to a lobbyist. You know that that's always going to be a pro-life vote, no matter what. No, it doesn't matter who's holding that office. That the Lubbock guy's always going to vote pro-life. It's whether his name is Charles Perry, Steve Mascagale, John Steinmetz, doesn't matter. It's always going to be the pro-life vote's going to come out of Lubbock. You can count on that vote. So why would we why would we waste time and money making up a stalker story, only telling a few people that didn't live in Texas for 4 years, then move again, and then say, look what he's doing to me. That looks like somebody trying to avoid a scandal, because there is a scandal, don't you think? Maybe if I move, then he'll leave me alone, and we won't ever have to talk about this again. I think I told Ben Campbell in Dallas, if he will leave me alone, I'll sign a non-disclosure, but he has to get out of my life. I do not want the guy in my life. No. All right, suit yourself. Now he wants me to force me to sign an affidavit recanting my claims. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so, I mean, needless to say, I had already met people. I didn't need Charles Perry for anything. This was my granddad. He was also a city councilman in Roswell, New Mexico. That's his affidavit on the alien thing. He got the museum set up. Not because he believed in aliens, but because there are some people that do that'll spend a lot of money, come look, and that brought the economy of Roswell way up from where it was. He was the chief of police. I mean, really now. I mean, I don't need podunk nobody Charles for political anything, do I? No. You go to the guy in Texas. You might want to go to somebody who has been in office for a good long time. If I had an issue that I wanted passed in the Texas legislature, I didn't have an issue I wanted passed in the Texas legislature. Stalking isn't part of your legislative duties. It's not what you need to do to pass a law in Texas. Stalk has nothing to do with it. So, in Oklahoma, you have to file a police report to get a protective order. My first attempt was denied because I forgot the police report. It says it number 2. Number 1 was jurisdiction. I had an attorney, and she didn't help me much there. I'm getting death threats with arsenic. That's why David wants me trafficked. He's scared to death of what I know. But David, it speaks to your simpleton mind, because I'm not the only one that knows. I'm not doing this by myself. Somebody got that from you to me. Somebody got the Fabian puzzle to me. Surely you know that. You want to look in my trunk? It's my property. If I allowed them to put equipment in my property that will keep me safe from you, it is not your business, and you don't get to obstruct justice. You don't get to. They didn't call me until after. Look, she's asking for evidence, because he carried out that thread of the email right here, the McNamara email, dated in October 2015. An event occurred on the 16th of January. I file a police report on the 21st. They have me arrested on the 29th, filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. Since when is stalking part of the job of a senator? It wasn't. So, I mean, we've done this. We've gone over this, over it and over it. No, they don't call me back till I'm sitting in jail. They hadn't even collected evidence yet. So you have to meet a 2-prong requirement. One is you have to show there was a political reason. 2, to file a false report. The report does have to be false. This was never investigated. They obstructed justice. I was never tested. You know, if they weren't poisoning me, they would make sure I had a test, and then they would make a big deal of it in front of the media. Have a big media thing, and they have a big media thing that said, we had her tested, and there was nothing in her blood, so she lied. That's not what they did. They made sure there was never a test, because they knew it would be positive for arsenic. He did say yes. You giving me arsenic? Yes. Okay, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? Now you want to do a family intervention. You want to be able to say I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah. But we said it before, Mr. Perry. And you've been trying to do it ever since. And I have a Fabian puzzle, Mr. Perry. Right here. They got me in jail. They got it to me in jail. There's too many things that we have before. Either you trafficked me or you did not. If you did not, then leave me the fuck alone. What happened this morning that they said didn't go like you expected? One of your guys said, even Dana said it didn't go as expected. Dana who? My family Dana or some other Dana? What didn't go as expected? Look at this. I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures out it's not legal. Still hitting the wrong one. No, I guess I wasn't. The last highlighted sentence. It isn't legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. All night long, David. Get her car. Get her fired. Get her car. Get her fired. Get her car. Get her fired. We have to traffic her this week. We've got to. We have to. We got it. Wow. Okay, so what's true and what's not? You tell us. We don't want to lie or anything. Okay, so we got all this tonight that you're telling. So what they did with my family is they went behind my back to my family, because there's no way I would take Charles Perry around my family. I never introduced him to them. I told them he's stalking me and I want nothing to do with him. And apparently somebody told, again, I'm not sure if this is good intel or not, true or not true. I don't know. I don't know yet. So you tell us, okay? But we were told that you went to my cousin fairly early after I moved here, and I was selling medical supplies in doctor's offices. And you said we shut that down, her medical business, because we wanted her in the strip club. We don't want her running off with a doctor or anything. So we shut the medical stuff down. We just want her stripping. We've cut off all other sources of income, but stripping. And at the time, he did not know that you were trying to groom me for being trafficked. But that's why you did that. You did tell him you did it. You just didn't tell him why. Now, is that true or not? So my family knew pretty early on that you deprived me of food and shelter and money and income and jobs, and that you interfere with commerce and contracts, intending to coerce, yes or no. Is that true or is that not true? We have the intel. It hasn't been proven out yet, one way or the other. You tell us, because we don't want to lie or anything. We don't want you to be able to say, oh, I'm not doing that, she's just crazy. Okay? Why don't you tell us what's true, what's not true? For the record, you tell us. You tell the judge, tell Judge Parker, tell Judge Egan, tell everybody what it is. Tell Judge Kirkendall, tell Judge Farmer, whatever court you're in right now. You tell them, is that true or not? Is it good intel or bad? Did you sell me to a Houston realtor named Larry or not? Yes or no? Do you have a Houston compound where there's kids and women living there that get raped? They're your kids don't even have a birth certificate. They don't exist on paper. You kidnapped girls, got them pregnant. Now they have children, your children, and you pimp them out too. Yes or no? Didn't you tell somebody that they're there by their own free will? When you're going around Oklahoma telling everybody who will listen, we're going to starve her until she fucking goes to Houston. And she's our hooker against her will. So you expect us to believe that those people are there their own free will? Is Natalie Holloway one of those people there getting raped and trafficked and pimped out by you? Yes or no? You tell us. On the record, tell everybody. Is that true or not true? Okay? So my family shoved me out of their lives. I'm living in a parking lot while they're trying to starve me until I go be trafficked, and eating about twice a week, taking a bath about twice a week. My family's having him over for dinner. And people were horrified that they did that to me. In fact, one guy said, there's two or three people that have commented on that. One lady said, that is the most cold, callous thing I've seen ever. This man is a stranger. She is their family. My family would not ever do that. Ever. We would have had a family meeting. We'd have got the guy on the phone and said, we're all here together. You don't come around us, any of us, ever again. You stay away from our entire family. She made it clear she does not like you. Stay away from the whole family. And that would have been the end of that. So why didn't they do that? That's what my family would have done. Why did her family not do that? Why did they shove her out and have this guy in? Now they basically traded out their family for some strange guy who's ruining her. and starving her and depriving her of her basic rights and needs. Like, who the fuck is that cold and callous and cruel? And another guy said, I have a female family member, had Charles Perry come onto my property and tried to develop a relationship with me. What I would have said to him is, my relative said that you're stalking her and she does not like you. And I'd like you to get off my property, and you do not come back unless she brings you over. Unless she herself brings you to my house, you're not coming to my house again. You're not going to do this behind her back betrayal crap. You're a stranger. We don't know you. She's our family member. We've known her since she's born. And we don't treat our family by betraying them. So if you want to come to my home ever again, she has to bring you. Otherwise, don't come to my home and do it behind her back ever again. So for Cindy's family to do what they did, I cannot imagine what they must have been thinking, that they would treat her like that. So my family has been asked to do an intervention. They've been asked to try to talk me into being trafficked. They call it, it's a human trafficker code word is Little Red Riding Hood. Now, what is Little Red Riding Hood? You got a wolf pretending to be grandma. That's why they call it Little Red Riding Hood. I won't talk to my family, and you know that. Because they betrayed my trust by having you over while I sat in my car by myself and did not eat for months. On Christmas was one of those days. I will have not another fucking thing to do with them. They chose you. They chose the monster ruining my life over their family. They can have you. We're done. And I've already said this, and now I'm repeating myself again. You can't be governor. You can't run for dog catcher. If things like this have to be told to you over and over and over, there is zero. Nobody has time for that in politics. Democrat or Republican doesn't matter. No one has time to repeat for you. If you can't keep up and get what people say the first time without puppets and crayons, you're simply not qualified. Mentally, intellectually, not qualified. So if you want to be governor or dog catcher for that matter, you better keep up with the rest of us. And you only have to say it once. Nobody has time for your bullshit repeat. Okay? And I said no to you. I don't have to be trafficked. I don't have to be your hooker. My answer is no. You're not entitled to your crime. And right now you're pissing people off. That's why we get the help and you get told on. You were told not to contact me again. So don't contact me again. Okay, so we've heard him 2 and 3, 4 times now. If she calls you asking for money, let us know. Let us know if she pressures you. We are getting her fired. We're making it where she's back. We're taking her car. She is going to have to go be trafficked. That's all there is to it. We just heard him again. Repeating. Is that true or not? You tell the court, Mr. Perry, did you sell me, you and David, and you're desperate to deliver to get your money? Because what we said also is my waitressing job, I came up fine in the bar from November till now, till 3 weeks ago. All of a sudden, I'm off exactly the amount that I had taken tips out of my pocket once, put them on the money counter, which you can see on camera. One time it was $54. So I cashed in my tips for bigger bills, $54 worth. I did that a couple of times during the night, but one time it was $54. Okay, so why do I know that? Did somebody tell me what you were going to do to pay attention to that? Maybe it was the same people that said this. They're calling all your family, every single one of your family members. We're going to starve her. We're going to intentionally interfere with commerce, butt into stuff that isn't our business. We're going to deprive her of her basic rights and needs, food and shelter. We're going to get her kicked out back on the street. We're going to take everything she owns again because she is going to go be our hooker so we can make money. Yes or no, is that true or not? Let us know if she pressures you. Okay, we'll false arrest her, whatever we have to do to coerce her to go be trafficked because we want our money. Yes or no, is that true? It is illegal to human traffic, sir. Who told me that you said that? What police department has the actual recordings? No police department, right? Is that what you tell yourselves? Go ahead, tell yourselves whatever bullshit you want. It doesn't matter. We get the intel either way. We've told you what we're going to do with the intel. It doesn't matter what you think. It's our intel. We own it. We'll do what we said we're going to do. That's all there is to it. Okay? If you want to go into court and you deny it, have at it. Have at it. Okay, so these have been going all night long. We have to get her delivered this week. We have to get her fired. So I cashed in my ones 1 week, $54. Next thing I know, I'm getting a text. You're $54 short. That's curious. Funny that you should say it's $54. Then it was the same thing. It was $77 the next week. Now, the third week it was $200. Again, that I helped my ones all night long. Now we know that what they're doing. I'm not cashing in my ones this time. I'm not going to do it. I'll go to the bank. But at the very end of the night, we completely ran out of ones, so I cashed in my ones. It was $200. I didn't even count it. The owner's son did. So that only happened when Joe's guy was there. And then the next time Joe's guy was there was off 18. Now, I was told, again, we haven't proven this out, or we're not going to answer it. You answer it. Is this true or not? The DJ when I went to the bathroom, quick slips from behind the DJ booth, runs over to the till, pulls out $15 and runs back. I'm short 18. It's normal to be short a little bit, a couple of dollars. So that would be the 3. The 15 he took. Again, so Joe's guy's either doing it or causing it to be done. Is that true or not? But it's all, I'm fine up until right now when you're on a traffic delivery deadline and you need to get me fired. You need to make me broke. And somebody called and actually said, she's not going to go until she's starving to death, so let's make her starve to death. Let's call all her family and tell them we're getting her fired. We're taking her car. She's not going to make any money door dashing. And then she's starving. And she'll be coerced to be our hooker to help us with our crime. Forced by force. Is that true or not? And my guy said, let me know if they pressure you to help with their crime. Okay? That's what they said. That was their response. They already told you, you want a phone call? We've heard you talk all day long. So I don't need to pick up the phone and hear you say the same thing I just heard you say on a bunch of surveillance. So if you want to whine and cry, take her car. We need our crime to work. We just need you to lie. We just need you to lie for us. Don't let her talk about what we're doing. We'll call that harassment. We're going to lie and say that's harassment. Nobody's doing anything to you. I'm talking about what you're doing to me in Oklahoma, where I moved to get away from you. It was my second move, sir. You had your car wrecked over and over. Nobody's threatening to take your shit. Nobody's threatening false charges. You're trafficking women, yes or no? You're trying to use taxpayer resources to traffic me, yes or no? You want to use my family. You call it Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma dresses up like a wolf, yes or no? The more you contact me, the more we get. We're getting the help, not you. People hate your guts. They truly hate you for what you're putting me through. So this was like, look at this. We're going to have a tough time getting her delivered. She's going to have no food, or she's just not going. We can't let her stay here. Where do I live? My guy's like, since when does it concern you? I thought you weren't trafficking. I thought you weren't stalking. Didn't you claim in court you're not doing that? So what do you care where she lives? What do you care what she's driving? What do you care how much money she has? What do you care how much gas is in her tank? What's it to you? You are trafficking. You are stalking. You are voyeurs. You are hacking her phone. And we're going to prove that in our case. But you want to help us? Help us. We told you to quit tampering with our witness. You want to tamper with our witness, we can certainly add charges for that every time you do. That's up to you. And somebody said you don't like it that she finds out every time you're about to do something horrible to her and ruin her? No? Okay, well, she said that you're making people uncomfortable with your crime. Her guys are very calculated, very strategic, very methodical. They don't do anything without doing their research. And here's the thing, crime makes people uncomfortable, and they know that. They know what people want. It's not this. So her guys are getting the information, and you're getting told on, because nobody likes what you're doing. And until Mr. Perry gets a grip on reality and understands that, it'll happen again tomorrow. Well, look at this, all day long. It's been like this every day since he said that. Look at all that. Look at all that. Look at all that. True or not true? Go into court and tell Judge Egan or whoever, is this true or not true? We get the intel in. We don't know always if it's good or bad. Look at that. Concealment of a material facts becoming a problem. What are they hiding? Because if you're not hiding something, what do you care if the fact comes out or the evidence? Why do you... Also, by the way, when... oh, brother. With these, anything is altered on this Facebook, my guys will charge you for tampering with evidence. This is evidence. And they will charge you every time you delete something or change it or hide it. So you do what you do. You know, we're quoting you. You're not quoting us. We're naming your people. You're not naming ours. We're quoting your phone calls and your meetings. You're not, you're not doing that. We don't ask about leaks. We don't have them. Look at this. Are you trafficking? Yes or no? Are you trying to starve me into cooperating with being a hooker? Yes or no? Did you want me pulled over tonight? Did you want my family to do an intervention to make me go? You want to use them to coerce? Yes or no? Look at this. Speak the truth and speak it ever, because he who hides the wrong he did does the wrong thing still. Yeah. See, you may be psychopaths and don't have empathy, but 99.9% of the population can't understand what in the fuck is wrong with you that you act like that. We get the help. You get told on. You don't get the help. We do. It's been that way 10 years. When y'all run around and go, this has never happened before, we laugh at you. We're going, actually, it has every day for 10 years. We've got millions of these. Millions of them. Look at this. Well, we're going to get her nursing license. Yeah, she didn't want that. She was 5 classes away from graduating from criminal justice college, and you ruined it. She didn't want to be a nurse. She didn't want to be your bitch. She didn't want to be your hooker. She didn't want a real estate license. She wants you to leave her the fuck alone. And that's true. He's not wrong. Look at this. She spent 10 years of fighting your crime like nobody else has in your life. And you don't like that. And you're trying to put her somewhere in a dungeon, aren't you? And you need her family to cooperate to help you. So it looks like she did this. They think it's kidnapping. But if they can talk her into it, maybe it's not kidnapping. Do you honestly think my uncle and my cousin are going to sit me down and go, Charles gave us the script and role-playing, so here we go. Ready? We're going to script and role-play now. We're going to say his words. Do you think I'm going to go, oh, okay, since you said it? Do you really think that's what I would do? No. The first thing I would do is, I do not even want to talk to you. I do not even want to hear it. I think it's best you leave. I don't want to hear from you. You betrayed my trust, and if your family betrays you, who do you trust? No one. The only people I trust are the people that told me about this and told me you were coming. Because I expected you. We talked about it in a podcast. We've talked about it many times. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to go. They're going to starve me, so I just won't eat. We'll see how much I'm worth eating out of a dumpster. Okay? I'm willing to go a long way, because at the end of this, Mr. Perry, you're going to jail, and I'll never be broke again, and I won't have to suck anybody's you-know-what, and I won't have to lie. Okay? So that's my choice, and I've been saying this for 10 years. I don't like you. No one does. We're getting the help, not you. That's what I'm paying attention to, is results. We're getting the results. We're meeting our objectives. We got the help. You're getting told on. I have stuff no other victim has, and you act like that. Just, it doesn't click for you. What that means that we are able to do what no one else has done before. Look at that. Look at that. We wanted her pulled over tonight. What happened? The guy didn't get to her on time, or what? Yes or no? Is that true or not? We call Mays County, tell them to fire her, because she was off 3 times, only when Joe's guy's there. All of a sudden, that plugs right into a timeline with these recordings that we've had all night long. These recordings go far to support the claim that you were trying to get me fired on purpose. To pressure me. Let us know if she pressures you when she just wants to eat. And my guy goes, when he's trying to make you be a part of his crime, let me know if he pressures you to be his hooker. Let me know. Yeah, there's that. Yes or no, is that true? Yes or no, is that true? Concealment of material facts is becoming a problem. They did it like 4 times now. What are they hiding? I think she's catching their shit and they don't like that is what I think. You know how many people have said that? A lot of people say things behind your back they won't say to your face because they're scared. Look at this. That's her car. You don't get to get her car and dig through the trunk. I think the police are talking to her at her window. Okay, well, it's her window. What's it to you? How would you know? What would make you think that? Are you a peeping Tom, just like she says? How do you know where her window even is? Are you stalking her? Because what do you care where she lives or where her window is or when she looks out at who's talking to her through the window? What's it to you, David? Charles, what's it to you? Why don't you get a life? Look at that. We're having a tough time getting one delivered. Look at that. Been working on it for years. We're supposed to have her delivered last August. Look at that. What does that say? Run a family intervention. You think I'm going to tell my family, oh, okay, because you said it. You forget who it is you're talking to or something. What law enforcement agency got me all this? Tonight? This is just tonight. Today. Which law enforcement agency got me that? Just today. We do this every day. You take my chain. You know, my guys are like, they will ruin your money. You know, you should have made $60 door dashing tonight. And that Calvin guy ran out your gas and made sure you didn't make any. So now we're pissed. Look at that. Now we're pissed. So guess what? Everyone's pissed. So it's been a busy intel night. We told them stay out of your wallet. You start deleting stuff, they're going to charge you with tampering with evidence. This is evidence. Okay? You choose. You can live with your choices, right? What he said is, get the fuck out of her wallet. Get the fuck out of her privacy. She said no. Learn how to pivot and say next in business and personal both. Blockbuster Video will tell you if you don't learn how to say next and pivot, you go out of business. Okay? Even in business, if this is just, since you're psychopaths with no empathy, think about the bottom line. How much have you spent getting us all the stuff we have tonight? How much money did this cost you to get us this? Everything you said. Huh? How much money did it cost you to get us all that? Any other victim have all that before they're delivered? And know that you've been in touch with their family behind their back? Before? There's a conversation about it? You tell me. Why is it different when you do it to me? Why do I have it? Who's Larry? I don't know Larry. Some realtor in Texas, in Houston, that thinks he can buy people. Look at that. Look at that. Are you trafficking? Yes or no? I mean, this has gone on for years, Mr. Perry, and you're caught when you do it to me. We just did a podcast last night about it. Look at this. So one guy said, you can't say she's crazy because of that, for one. Who got that to her in jail? It's very specific to her. It wasn't up to you. When we got all this, it wasn't up to you. You want to use me as a test case for a fraud upon the Supreme Court. Send her home, harass the hell out of her. When she complains about it, we'll lie and say she's harassing us. You're getting caught bothering me, and that's not a crime. Don't bother me if you don't like getting caught. We're going to take her car. It's not legal. We're going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. And that was in August 2019. Okay? Who got that? Who got me that, Charles? We've got one in Tulsa that we've got to get her to Texas so we can do more to her. Look at that. Who got that to me? Look at this one. The guy said, what she has is very specific. On February 9, 2021, you said, I don't think we can steal her money and get her kicked out for non-payment because of the COVID moratorium, so we'll do smoking. Well, a few days later, the landlord calls and leaves a voicemail on the 15th. And it's not like we're getting complaints about noise. Nope. Smoking. Details. Specific. She did exactly what. So how are you going to say I'm crazy? I guess somebody asked. How are you going to say she's crazy when you got that? Take the tail light out and have her pulled over. Well, you did. So my guys woke me up and I went and changed it out. Lucky complained to our guys. We want to call in a protective order maybe. Because all he does is call us and want her pulled over. We're kind of tired of that. Now we understand that you've said, pull her over until we can get her car. So that she has to be trafficked and sign that affidavit. And I guess a reporter talked to somebody in one of your law offices and said, who prepared the affidavit I keep hearing about? Charles. Okay, so it's his words, not hers, right? Yeah. But his campaign people think it'll work. Yeah, I don't think it will. I want to hear her story. When she prepares it, then I'll listen. She said his presence in Oklahoma is very stressful, that he's trying to pressure her into signing that. Let us know if she pressures you just to eat. So, because we can't have that, we've got to have her pressured into signing our lie. These are his words, not her words. So the reporter said, I understand that she moved to Oklahoma to get away from Mr. Perry, so his very presence there is pressure for her. She didn't want him there. And then after that, he's causing one drama after another to pressure her. So when all that stops, and when he's no longer in Oklahoma, and she's prepared her own affidavit, then I'll believe it, and not until then. I'm not stupid. I know you like to think everybody else is as stupid as you, but they're not. This lady wasn't. Right? What's the matter? You can't find anybody to fess up to taking that call? I really don't care. Doesn't mean the call didn't happen. My guy's got it. Okay? All the wrecks, all the vandalism. This was my transmission. Somebody threw a brick at me on the freeway. It hit the asphalt and then bounced up underneath my car and split the engine in two. It should have been my face. I think what's the intent? Mark the car, mark the car, mark the car. Get a bumper sticker. I'm always head at the wheel, see? Anybody hit your car? No, nobody's doing anything to you. You're getting caught doing things to me. Get her address. Who got me that? Was it when we got any of this, Mr. Perry, was it up to you or David? It was not. So when they pile your attorney, here's 300 recordings of them whining and crying about taking her car, so she'll be trafficked. That's just this month. Okay? That's 1 month. Listen to that, see what you can get suppressed, and come see me. What's next? Shoe prints? Ringtone? Get her fired? Make sure she comes up short in her drawer. If you have to steal the money and blame her, do it. Because we got to get her trafficked right now. So you got to make this happen right now. So all this time, everything's been fine for 2 months, and all of a sudden, right now, we got that problem. And then we got those recordings that back that up. In a timeline, it fits in perfect, like a Jenga piece. Fits right in. Right, Lucius? Yeah. Very specific. It's very hard to get around things that are so specific. Neighbors were complaining about your people taking pictures of me. You take pictures of me at DoorDash. You know, with your people. See, DoorDash is supposed to assign customers randomly with an algorithm. I don't get to have that kind of pleasure of just normal. These are Charles people who have a doorbell camera, so they can take a picture and say, we're not stalking her, see, we got pictures of her, from hacking her phone or DoorDash app. We're not stalking or hacking, see? We can prove it with the pictures we took from stalking and hacking. Because Dan Pope and Steve Maskenhill don't do that. Why do you? They don't care what I do for a living. They don't know when I work. They don't care. I can hear some more at a club where she's working. We're going to her where she is and taking pictures of her and bothering her and making her uncomfortable. Right? And the neighbors. They actually called Chief Miller 2 or 3 times and complained about this. I'd never called him. I never talked to him about that. I did talk to Chief Ridley about it after Chief Miller died, and he'd already been called a couple of times. And this lady right here said, Lucky was over here today, and I again reiterated, we've got to have more patrol. They are creeping us the hell out with this picture taking it. I've lived here 10 years, and I've never seen this. And it's causing me a lot of anxiety. And he said, I got to have tags. So that was the last thing he told us before he was murdered. Got to have tags. So get me tags, and I'll start running those tags, and we'll start making these people leave you alone. He had a solution. Death threats that are, well, at least he's poetic with his death threats, right? And Joe's guy say that? Yeah. Michael Neely was drugged. He didn't do it. The first email I sent was actually in January 2020. I sent another one in February 2020, and then I was more emphatic with this March one. And sure as shit he was. He was treated with Narcan, not being hit in a drunken brawl. And the fact that I know that before scares the shit out of you. So you want to traffic me and throw me in some dungeon. So we understand that David actually asked some guy higher up in his hierarchy of organized crime last year, can I kill her? And the guy said, no, we got to get her delivered and the money and then kill her. Sure, you're right, she knows too much. Duly noted for the record, you expressed intent. We don't need you to say it 300 times. We only need one. If you get 299 recordings suppressed, but we can use one, that is all we need, Mr. Perry. And how much are you going to spend telling your attorney all the times you had the same conversation about the same thing? Here, there's 200 recordings with her emails about you are whining and crying, please take her car away, then she'll go, then she'll call us. 200 of them right here. And by the way, that's just this month. We got 10 years of this. Go try to suppress all that. Right? Okay. How much I don't know. And then Lucky came in the strip club to talk to me, where he told me about a forged marriage license. You can't consent to something you don't know anything about, can you, Mr. Perry? We are not a couple. You are a delusional whack job, and you know that. And the more you bother me with that shit, the more of this stuff we get beforehand. Okay? Like that. Like this. This was a recording of somebody. Point out for me the marks on this guy that looked like he was in a fight. This was somebody else looking this over. Who? This was also a police recording. See, he doesn't have any injuries because he wasn't in a fight. Chief Miller was beat back and forth so badly that he died of internal decapitation. Right, left, right, left. Well, look at his hand. He's got a red, swollen right hand because there's an IV in it, and that's the only injury listed in the arrest report. Right here. Red, swollen right hand. Nothing else. Beat somebody to death. While he was dying of opioid overdose, he did that. I mean, you think people have superpowers or something. Now, why didn't Chief Ridley and Chai Buttram testify to the jury the same way they said to the Washington Post? None of this makes sense. It doesn't add up. If they were killed in the line of duty, that would make sense. But this does not make sense. Now, why didn't they say that to the jury? Because they were killed in the line of duty, weren't they? That's what that tells me right there. You're not asking some random person. You're not asking their secretary. You're not asking their dispatcher. You're not asking their wives. You're asking me. Because you wanted to see what I knew about who Hansel and Gretel or coaxed them to the location where you would kill them. Both of them. You were trying to kill both of them. You know what? Everybody in Manford came running up to me the second we all found out like he was dead. Your Texas Mafia got them both. So the whole town knew immediately you did that. How is that possible? How is that possible? At that point, they were just speculating. And I refused to believe it. I said, oh my God, please do not put that on me. Please do not put someone's death on me. This is not my Texas Mafia, first of all. And I refuse to believe they did this. I refuse. Because that means I made a phone call 6 days ago. That means I shouldn't have made that phone call. I asked them to investigate car vandalism that we didn't know at the time. Did it have anything to do with them or not? Probably. But it's not definitive until you investigate it. And so were they killed because they were investigating it? I don't want that on me. That's a heavy burden. Please don't say that. I thought I was going to throw up. Come to find out, they were not wrong, were they? The whole damn town. The whole fucking town. They're not stupid. So why were Ty Buttram and Chief Ridley and me kept from talking to the jury and saying what we said everywhere else to the jury? Because Mike Neely would be home right now, wouldn't he? Had we been able to do that? Did Ty and Chief Ridley change their story from then to now? Do they have a different story now? Did you make them change? Here's your scripts and role playing like you guys like to do. Yeah, everybody's had it with you. How many driver's license recordings are your attorneys going to get? Go listen to those. These are over her driver's license, taking it away from her. So go listen to those and try to get them suppressed. Yeah. The TSA, Homeland Security, and airline people are all now, Homeland Security is training, making sure that the TSA officers at the security checks in airports and that the airline staff, flight attendants, pilots, and so forth, they're now starting to educate those people a lot more on what to look for human trafficking victims. I think people are tired of it. I think and it's also now funding terrorism. So whatever terrorist organization you're with, I don't think they want to allow you and your funding through human trafficking to cause the next 9/11, do you? You think that's why maybe they're after you now? I think so. Pull her over, pull her over, pull her. Here, Mr. Criminal Defense Attorney, here's about 1,000 on pulling her over. Just on pulling her over. Go listen to him and get suppressed whatever you can. All we need is one. Okay. Take her computer. Make her homeless, get her computer. We got about 100 of these. So, here, Mr. Criminal Defense Attorney, go listen to those recordings and get to suppress what you can. Bus pass. Make her destitute. Give her a bus pass and tell her you can go anywhere but not New Mexico. Okay. Here, Mr. Criminal Defense Attorney of Calvin, of Lucius. How many? We got about 500 of these. About just with a bus pass. Go listen to them and see what you can get suppressed before we go to trial. And there's all this. Okay? On and on. Every time you contact me, every day you invade my privacy, every time you take something or cause a problem, next thing we know, you take, they take. They have court orders to do that, though. You invade my privacy, they invade yours. You take something from me, they take something from you. Like names of your people on your payroll. Creepy Chucky, right? You like being a reject? All by yourself, nobody's in love with you. Just told on and told on and told on and hated and told on and told on. Everybody's sick of you. You like that? You like being creepy? Creepier the better? I don't know. But you're by yourself and you're told on. You have to look at results. We're looking at this going, wow. Had a good day. It was a busy day. Look at that. Look at all the stuff we got in. Look at that. Was it intended to coerce? Yes, it was. You're full of shit. No one believes you, by the way. How many times have you said that? It wasn't intended to coerce. Then what was it intended to do? You tell us. We don't want to lie or anything. Alright, so here's the blog. She has bleach blonde hair. We're listening to one right now, actually. She has bleach blonde hair. It wasn't not intended to coerce. Somebody's got to tell her she cannot talk about what we're doing to her anymore. So, yes, have someone tell me. I cannot tell people what you're putting me through anymore. That I'm a victim of your crime. I'm a witness. You're witness tampering. You've been told repeatedly to stop. That includes having somebody to come tell me I can't talk about what you're doing to me. Stop doing stuff to me. If you're worried about getting told on, who all has it? You don't know anything about the need to know. You don't know. If you can't take the medicine you dish out, don't dish it out. The guys helping me are men picking on men. They have a court order to do that. Do you? You are men picking on one woman. And you're making people want to barf. That's why we get the help you get told on. This is about stalkers using technology like cloning a phone or hacking a phone to stalk women. Oklahoma's highest in the country for dead women, children with no mommy, at the hands of a domestic violence offender, male. Top in the country. Whose fault is that? We got that. This is what the police are supposed to do. Show up and do their job for you. Not, let's cover this all up and let's pull her over and meet her to death. Whatever. So there's my disclaimer page. Actually, I think this might be the last podcast page. Yep, that is. The only thing that is real, Mr. Perry, is not a delusional fairy that's only real to you. But did my family get asked when's the first time you saw them in the same room together? And they said never. Right? Yeah, about time somebody asked them that. Here's my doctor, and she said that you're just doing a stalking escalation, and Cindy's afraid of you. She says that in her letter, Cindy, the very last paragraph. She's afraid of you. And that's why you do that shit. You're trying to intimidate her. So somebody said, whatever he does, it's always going to be just one more stalking escalation. This guy solicited prostitution on behalf of Mr. Perry. He actually said he'll give you $5,000 for a couple hours of sex with him. And I was like, fuck no. That guy creeps me the hell out. There's no way. I'm saying no again today. Look, right there. He will really be nice, and he'll pay $5,000 for one night. And I was like, ew, I don't think so. By the way, at the very end of this, it's recorded right here. At the very end of it, he said you could ruin him politically. And I'm like, I don't care about his politics. I want him to leave me the fuck alone. I came up here to get away from him. Why are you here at my work? Why are you here bothering me at my work? They go wherever my work is, take a bunch of pictures and say, see, we're not stalking her. We got pictures of her working in Oklahoma. But look at this. If you're making sense, him and David both. Stop. You talk too much. Really? You mean I'm saying what you don't want to hear? Because I don't think I'm talking too much. I think I'm just saying what you don't want to hear. It's contrary to your bullshit, right? Is that what you mean? Really? He asked me about 3-4 times if I was wearing a wire. What? When you have a conversation with somebody, do they normally ask if you're wearing a wire? That's an unusual thing to say, don't you think? What are you worried about? Politically, you could ruin him. Yep, and I don't care. What I said is, leave me the fuck alone. It costs no money and no time to leave somebody else the fuck alone. Okay, so there's that. We got Michael's case here. We got the perjury after perjury after perjury right there. We got the human trafficking page there. Are you human trafficking, yes or no? You're trying to use my family to coerce me. You're trying to use court proceedings that are a fraud, knowing and willing fraud to intimidate and coerce me. My guys want to know, let us know if they're pressuring you. Okay? So there's that.
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches? I got scratches.
I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Monkey, hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't
get
give a
it
fuck.
good.
You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can
find
bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army.
You're gonna
I don't give a
find
fuck.
out.
This make you feel?
Huh?
You're
How does it make you feel to have somebody taking pictures of you where you go? And the guy's like, I got pictures of you. Want me to go get them? Totally missed her point. Charles is no different. I made you broke. I'm taking your car. I'm putting you in jail. Why didn't you like me? I'm putting you in jail. Why don't you like me? Every damn day. I made you broke. I'm taking your car. I'm putting you in jail. Why don't you like me? I'm getting you fired. Why don't you like me? Just go. I'm going to make you go. Why don't you like me? I'm taking your car. I'm putting you in jail. We have your DNA. Types all that crap in my phone. Is it Jim? Who's telling on me? Is it your family? Is it your sister? Is it your kids? Is it Jim? Is it Al? Who's telling on me? all day fucking long. I can't get nothing done because he does that in my phone when I'm trying to type all fucking day long. Yeah.
Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
No, just talk
Leave
to
me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll
No,
leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. Leave me alone.
Stepdad's been raping you since
Leave
you were
me
12 years
alone.
old.
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God.
See, this is how people end up on Lifetime. This is how people get hurt and stabbed, and then you want to say that the woman is crazy because she was the one walking down the street in whatever clothes that she was wearing. If a woman tells you to leave her alone and they're constantly walking away from you, that is your cue to back the hell up, turn around, and talk it up. She does not want to deal with you. And no, she does not have to give you an explanation. And no, she does not even have to give you 5 seconds of anybody's damn time because you cannot control your primal feelings from your testosterone running through your veins till you see something pretty that you think you're supposed to have. Leave her alone.
All right. So my guys, remember you wanted a phone call, and they said no. We listened to everything they say all day long. The guy goes, Charles is all about himself, and I need a lie, and I just want to run for governor, and I just need her to lie, and we've just got to get her trafficked so I can get my money. We just got to get her delivered. And if I'm not going to pick the phone and hear him say the very same thing he said to me that I listened to him say all day. Only person I care about is my girl Cindy. She's my friend, she's my team member, and she's another human being, and she's my witness. And I'm furious that she doesn't get to eat half the time because of you. And I'm furious that you think you have the right to invade her privacy, that you have the right to your crime, and that you have an entitlement mentality. That's what I'm mad about. I told you, do not contact my witness. Don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her or her family in any form at all, directly or indirectly. She's not to be broke. We know she can make money. We've known her all her life. And we know exactly how much of her money you took. We got a tally of it. So what I'd like you to do is get your hands out of her wallet, respect her rights and the law, or I'm going to do it for you. She's my witness. You're not to tamper with her. Leave her alone. Only thing I care about is her. Because you're hurting her, and we know that. I don't give a fuck about your entitlement mentality, and you think you're owed crime, and you think you're owed a lie, and you think you want and you need and what. I'm worried about what she wants and what she needs. You need to shut your mouth and listen to what other people want and need, okay? Try that for once, because right now what I'm seeing is a guy that is just digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in a hole that I'm fixing to bury him in it. And you asked for that. You're a man, maybe, so act like a man and quit picking on a woman, you and your buddies. She said no. No means no. You're not entitled to anything at all. She's entitled to her privacy, and you're violating it. She's entitled to work and not be the victim of crime every time she does. And you're violating that too, and we know that. She's entitled to be able to feed herself and work and make money and date whoever she wants and hang out with whoever she wants without you butting in and infringing on her rights. She's entitled to her job without being part of your smear campaign. You and Joe. So what I'm like you to do is quit tampering with my witness. There was a day that he probably would have tried to ask the judge for mercy. I'm pretty sure that day's gone. He told you, when you leave her alone, then I'll call you. But right now I'm sitting here listening to you talk about every nasty, fucked up thing on the planet that you intend to do to her. I want to make sure I don't miss something because it might get her killed. So I'm not going to waste my time talking to you on the phone. I'm sitting here listening to you talk now. Well, I said leave her alone. And if you can't understand what people say, you can't be governor. And right now I'm seeing you act like you don't understand what I just said. I'm the cop, you're the offender. I'm not Oklahoma. I don't do things like Oklahoma. You want to whine and complain about what you want and you need and how you feel entitled, call Oklahoma. I have no time for that. I have no time for that. We don't bully women around here. We protect them. We're not Oklahoma. She matters, not you. We get the help, not you. You get told on because you're offending people. So until you get that, don't waste my time. I don't have time. I'm sitting here listening to all the people involved in this, and I can't afford to miss one thing they say, and then she ends up dead. Because one of them starts talking about, we're going to kill her, and here's what we're going to... I need to make sure I tell her. And she shouldn't have to miss work because she might be killed or arrested on a fraud. We heard you talking about. We hear you talking about it all the time. That's all y'all do is sit around and try to figure out how to tamper with my witness and force a change in her testimony. And lock her up in a dungeon somewhere and make her your hooker. So, what I'm asking you to do, before I make you do it, leave her the fuck alone. That's my witness. Leave her the fuck alone. Right now, you guys look very guilty. Very guilty. We heard you all day getting more desperate than ever to deliver, which supports our claims that's why all of a sudden I'm off in the bar. We need to make her destitute. We need to get her fired from her job. We need to lock her up in jail. We need to do all this stuff that we can do to pressure her to lie. And if she calls family asking for help, let us know if she pressures you. Tell her no. Let us know if she pressures you. My guy said, you let us know if they pressure you. Because you're not doing anything illegal. They are. We know that, and they know we know that. We're not Oklahoma cops. We don't do business the way Oklahoma does. Notice the little feud between LAPD and Las Vegas Metro Police Department over the Tupac Shakur thing and the Chris Wallace thing and the O.J. Simpson thing. And I'm not even going to tell you. You do your own homework. You research that yourself. But sometimes police departments get irritated at the sloppy. And one of them will finally step and go, yeah, I'm going to show you how we don't do it sloppy like you. Okay?
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Alright, so what we showed you was my police report was filed on the 21st. You have to file a police report to get a protective order in the state of Oklahoma, and Mr. Perry knew that because my first one was denied in part because I forgot the police report. The judge did give a verbal order from the bench and said, it goes without saying, Mr. Warman, your client may not contact Ms. Ortiz. He's got to leave her alone. Why would he not? Because he wouldn't want to be a stalker, would he? I mean, it goes without saying means your client should already know this. He's a grown-ass man. Leave her alone. And my bond conditions actually state that Mr. Perry was to leave me alone. They wanted me to lie then. Remember, I'd been threatened with false arrest in October. I email my ex-husband and tell him I'm being threatened with false arrest and death. And something happened on the 16th where the stalking escalates at my work. I file a police report on the 21st of January 2016. I'm arrested for filing a police report that is false in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. He was a state assemblyman when I left Lubbock. I didn't live in his district. I lived in John Frullo's district, who was also the same as Charles on the issues. You have to be in that town. All the same. And I didn't do state legislation, so it's not like I called people and said, I've got this state legislation I want you to support. I think I asked a little bit after all of the stalking. He's stalking me. 2 years later, have you thought about looking into faith-based organizations' abuse? Because after 2 years after the stalking, I'm texting my friends about Mr. Perry's stalking. It became the situation arose in which we found faith-based organizations were abusing kids in New Mexico. So I started working on legislation, not in Texas, New Mexico. That doesn't mean I didn't ask these guys, hey, have you thought about looking into this? And that was pretty much where it stopped. I asked John and Charles both, have you thought about looking into this? I got an answer back from neither one of them. So that I just kind of let it sit there. I didn't do business in Texas. I didn't do state legislation as a rule. I did federal government reform. Nothing at all to do in state. I hate state. I like the federal better. The reason I did something in New Mexico is because my parents hurt some kids, and I made a promise to them that I would help them the only way I could. I couldn't make up for them what they lost. What I can do is talk to the officials in New Mexico about changing the law so that doesn't happen again, and that satisfied what they were asking me to do, so I did that. I did it on my own dime. I was not paid. Most of the time, I was paid for that stuff. Not always, but for the most part, I was paid for my efforts in government reform. I didn't like state. So I've now moved twice. Mr. Perry's ruined my career in political consulting, ruined my career in medical. Flat told my cousin, we shut that medical down. I'm going to traffic her. I chose her as my victim. I need her in the strip club to groom her for trafficking. He didn't tell my cousin why he was doing it. He just said, I shut her medical business down. We can't have her running off of the doctor. We need her in the strip club. So my cousin already knew he's getting into my money. He already knew. You've been on the phone all night long. My guys have recorded you all night long. We're going to make her starve because she has to go. She has to understand she has to go be our hooker. She has no choice. When you talk to your jury, that is going to be an interesting thing for you to explain why in the fuck you would say something like that. Let us know if she pressures you. My guys are like, let us know if they pressure you. Because it looks to me like you're not pressuring anybody to do anything illegal, and they are. We're getting the help, not them, because everybody's sick and tired of this. The cruelty is outrageous. Mr. Perry's delusion is outrageous. Okay, so I filed a police report on the 21st over an incident that happened on the 16th of January 2016. In October 29, 2015, I had already said he's threatening me with false arrest. You have to file a police report to get a protective order, and they knew that. Filed the false police report in retaliation for his job as a public servant. I don't live in Texas now. What do I care? I'm not working in politics. I haven't voted since 2012. What do I care? He doesn't legislate in Oklahoma. Okay, so I filed that report. The date on this call is the 15th of February. They've not collected any evidence. and they've investigated nothing. So how do you know the report was false? So there's no evidence that there was a false police report filed, and there's no evidence that there was a political vendetta. To this day, they have no issue. They have no text. They have no emails. They have no tweets, no Facebook messages over a political vendetta, because there wasn't one. There was no political vendetta, and they knew that. It was stalking. So, stalking is a crime in all 50 states. Rebecca Schaefer, Drew Carey's ex-fiancé, Travis Alexander, President Reagan. How many people gotta die? Lucky Miller, over a stalking incident. John Lennon. How many people gotta die from stalking? From some nutbag stalker. Am I next? Am I next? You're not entitled to your crime. So he started stalking, and then I guess he decided to sell me, to shut me up on the stalking, and now it's become stalking to traffic. Traffickers do stalk their victims. They try to control every part of their lives. And I have been the only one that we control the flow of information, Mr. Perry. Always have. It has never been up to you. Mr. Bencor, Lucius, Calvin. And the more you take my money, and the more problems you cause me, and the more you contact me, and I told you not to, and the more trouble you make, the more we get. No other victim has this. We have your code words like Little Red Riding Hood, and pin the tail on the donkey as a false arrest of a victim. Papa John's means to make delivery of the victim to the buyer. No other victim has that. No other victim knows they're trafficked before, and to who, where the guy lives, and what he does for a living. I do. What does that mean? If you don't know what that means, you sure shit are not intellectually competent to serve even as dog catcher.
The Tulsa Police. Cynthia, I'm looking at the report that you made on harassment and stalking, and need to speak with you concerning the report. I need to get some more details, and probably need to look at your phone for the text messages if you're wanting to pursue this. You can reach me at 918-596-2824, and just give me a call, and we'll set up a date and time for me to talk with you. Again, my number is 918-596-2824.
Okay, she's asking for the evidence. It's after I'm already in jail in Lubbock. They have obstructed justice. They have destroyed my evidence. Blood evidence to show arsenic poisoning, yes or no, whether it's there or not. They don't have my video surveillance from Lady Godiva's. They don't have anything. There's no political issue. So there wasn't even probable cause, much less enough to make an arrest and then get a conviction. And I said, I'm not going to lie for them, but if you'll leave me alone, I'll just be quiet. He hadn't left me. The second I get home, he starts threatening me more. We're going to have you arrested again. We're going to kill you. You change your story. You plead guilty. Every day, all day long. He threatens and harasses, and then asks about leaks, and threatens and harasses, then asks about leaks. Constantly. I'm going to take your car. I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to put you back in jail. He told Fabian, I'll have her thrown back in jail, and she won't get out this time unless she's with me. You give up. Not your place to say, sir. Not your place to say. Where is Jacqueline when you bother me? Where's Jacqueline when you're up in Oklahoma waving around a forged marriage license that I've not even seen to this day? Chief Miller asked me about it. He didn't have it with him. He said, did you sign a marriage license? I said, why the hell would I do that? Remember the text asking, was he in a strip club? He was, but I wasn't going to tell that person. That wasn't actually Lisa Neely. It was Mr. Perry spoofing her account, trying to find out what all I knew and what I would say in court. That's all that witness tampering. They are big on the witness tampering. Let us know if they pressure you, okay? They want to know if you're going to pressure people legally just to eat. let us know if they're going to pressure you illegally to be trafficked. Yeah. They sit there and listen to everything you say, Mr. Perry. They don't need to talk to you on the phone. They already heard you all day long. After I'm already in jail, she's asking for the evidence. If you wish to pursue charges, I need the evidence. Call me back and come in and talk with me. They hadn't done an investigation yet.
This message is for Cynthia Ortiz. This is Detective Egan with Tulsa Police. Cynthia, I'm looking at the report that you made on harassment and stalking, and I need to speak with you concerning the report. I need to get some more details, and probably need to look at your phone for the text messages if you're wanting to pursue this. You can reach me at 918-596-2824. And just give me a call, and we'll set up a date and time for me to talk with you. Again, my number is 918-596-2824.
Dated 1/4/16. Likewise, me being dead or arrested on some faked up charges like he has been trying to do for 2 years is also never going to equal him not stalking or vindication for him. But he's trying to do it anyway. This was well before I filed the police report that they had me arrested for on false claims. There was no investigation, and there was no political vendetta. Now, I've been threatened with false arrest again since the day I got home and my feet hit Oklahoma dirt. Not a day goes by I don't get threatened with property loss, income loss, relationship loss, false arrest, kidnapping, trafficking. We're going to make you go. Yeah, I don't think you will. Starvation now. Look at that. He just said it. He just typed it in my other phone again. We are going to make you go. You have to go. Be trafficked and be our hooker. Say that to my face, you coward. Say it to your jury at your criminal trial. That's dated July 2022. We're going to use her family to kidnap her. Yeah. How many is our prosecutor going to give your attorney of recordings and emails about kidnapping me and trafficking me? We only need one to show intent and malicious aforethought. How many is your attorney going to have to go through to decide if he can get any of it suppressed? What does that say? Charles Perry shall have no contact of any kind, limited to personal, any kind of contact with each other. Leave her alone. I did move twice not to contact you at all. So one guy said, you know, if I'm accused of stalking, the last thing I'm going to do is go where the accuser is. I don't want any appearance that I'm a stalker. What does Charles do? Leaves his family and his home, goes thousands of miles to another state where the accuser lives and refuses to leave. And that is stalking. He's doing exactly what she says. My feet did not hit Oklahoma dirt before he's already telling me, I'm going to have you arrested again. You plead guilty. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to kidnap you. I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to take everything you have. And he's gone at it day after day after day after. And he's carried out a lot of his threats. His threats are specific. Somebody said that it's hard to make it look like she's crazy when the thing is you had her kicked out of her apartment, not for being loud, but for smoking, exactly like she'd said a day or two before. You had her car taken from the Flying J, exactly, just like she'd said in an email the day before. She's got very specific information about what you said in your meeting with your people. In the next day or two, you did exactly what you said. To a T, she's got it. So these aren't vague. These aren't off a little. To a T. Time and time again, you did exactly what she said. So that has built up now to where it's very hard to argue that you're not doing exactly what they say you're doing. Who is getting that information from you to her? Who is in that need-to-know investigation? Who got her the Fabian puzzle? If it's not cops, prove it is not cops. And you can't do that by getting into her property and digging around. There's going to be something where you are that they can hear what you said. Find that You're allowed to dig around on your own property. You're not allowed to dig around on her property. And otherwise, don't give him a whole lot more. Leave her alone. Until you figure out who that is, leave her the fuck alone. Believe me, you're not going to find it. They're about to make arrests because they're getting a lot of pressure. People are sick of watching you do this to me. See, normal people don't understand you. And you're abnormal. You're deviant. You're outside social norms. You're way outside the law. Trafficking comes with a life sentence. Same as a murder in a lot of states. And you're making everybody want to barf. You threaten everybody. And we're all tired of it. You stress out and creep out everybody. And we're all tired of it. And some of that actually started before I got here, David. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma, Charles, and you've come up here and ruined people. So it's bad that you ruined people. What makes it harder to stomach is that nobody invited you here. Okay? You are not invited. You have broken into our homes, ripped up everything we have. You're demanding I leave my own home, and you are not invited here in the first place. And it isn't up to you. If we're quoting you and you're not quoting us, why in the world do you think it's up to you? Let us know if they pressure you. Okay? Because it looks to us like they're pressuring you. We did say leave our witness the fuck alone. We're getting the help, not you. Don't get that mixed up. You get told on. Everybody is sick of you. And the guy said, you don't like she finds out before? No. She said you're making people uncomfortable. Crime tends to do that. Her people are very calculated, strategic, and methodical, and they do their research or they don't do anything. Okay, they understand what people want, and it is not this. And so until you guys get a grasp on reality and figure that out, it'll happen again tomorrow. She'll quote you all day again tomorrow. That was months ago, and we have quoted you every day. So do what you do. Dig your hole. There's your shovel.